So yeah, we do have the Dire banning out very wisely Kyler's Sniper and Shadow Friend. Those are two heroes that he is very good with. And I would really hope to see... Well, who played that Bloodseeker last round? I don't remember who that was. And, oh, we do have a viewer tuning in here.
Dire's pick. Radiant's pick.
Okay, sorry about that. There we go. So yeah, we do have a first pick Viper, presumably for Yadneb. And the Radiant do ban out the Luna and wisely ban out the Bloodseeker. I would assume the Luna is a respect ban for Yadneb's Luna. It is pretty decent, but he also has a pretty decent Viper.
10 seconds to go.
I would think they'll probably put Viper mid. And we do have a Wind Ranger pickup, and I do enjoy the Wind Ranger quite a bit. I think she's a very underutilized hero, especially in the pro scene. She's someone who I played a lot when I first got into Dota. She's just real fun to play. She's got the shackle shot, she has the power shot, and then also can run away quite easily with her wind run, and her ultimate is just great for taking down buildings. And I am a little concerned because we do have the Zeus pickup, which is another one of those kind of pub stompy heroes. And I think they'll be okay with Zeus. I think they'll be okay playing against Zeus. You just really want to make sure you pick up the BKBs on your carries. But yeah, I don't necessarily like Zeus a ton. He does tend to get a decent amount of kills if you don't know to pick up a BKB or... yeah, if you just feed kills to Zeus, he can get out of hand, but any hero gets out of hand with a decent number of kills. I feel like my mind is being torn into like 9 different places right now. I have Google Hangouts going, I have Steam messages going, I have the match to cast, and I feel bad because John, who's probably a dear viewer and listener, just sent me a message on Steam, and I had to say, sorry, I'll get back to you. So John, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry that I had to do that. But I do want to be able to focus on my cast, so... no more Google Hangouts, none of that crap. And we do have the Naga Siren pickup, which I am actually really excited about because Naga Siren is a hero that is super tough to play. And in all of the matches that I have played, I can't really say
5 seconds
that Naga Siren has been one of the more effective heroes that I've played against. I feel like she just feeds a lot.
Radiant's ban.
And rightfully so. She's just so hard to play because you get the illusions up, and typically you want to get a Radiance on Naga Siren so that you can use the illusions to go to neutral creep camps and split push and just farm up like crazy with the Radiance. So I am excited to see if there's somebody on the team who knows how to play Naga Siren. And I also do really enjoy casting these in-house matches, but something that you have... The beauty of matchmaking is that you're generally matched up against a team of similar skill. This is not the case with We Like Dota in-house matches. I hope that there's a even mix of skill between the two teams, but you never know. There might be somebody who has like 6k MMR or something against people who only have 1.5 to 2k MMR, so we'll see how it goes. And the Dire do ban out the Outworld Devourer, which I think is a...
Radiance
I think it's an okay ban, because you would presume that Viper would be going mid, and if not Viper, Naga Siren, so I think it's somewhat of a wasted ban, but I also see the reasoning as well.
Radiance pick.
Maybe they just don't like to play against OD. But we do have the Dire banning out the Razor, which I think that's actually a great idea because Razor is kind of your anti-carry, and if you've already picked Viper and Naga Siren, especially with Viper. Razor can just make Viper's life miserable with that static link. Steals so much damage. And I'm gathering that the Radiant also don't like to play against Death Prophet, because I believe they banned Death Prophet on the last match.
5 seconds.
Or no, maybe it's the other side that did. I don't remember. But anyway, I think they're really expecting... I think they're expecting Viper and Naga to not go mid. Because you can also run Death Prophet mid, but I think Death Prophet really fits into almost any draft. She can go mid, she can go off lane, she can go safe lane. You can play her as a support, you can play her as a carry. Kind of a soft carry almost, but yeah, she's a good pickup for sure. So we do have the Dazzle pickup, which isn't too much of a surprise there. Dazzle is one of those supports that you just really want to have him. Fits into almost any lineup. And we do have the Dire picking up the Lich. I do like the Lich. He is a good hero to play against, to play as in pub matches. That Chain Frost really does work, and you can deny a creep with the, is it Sacrifice, I believe is what it's called? To yeah, just really really deny a creep and push that lane out, and really just provide some good lane stability. And we did have the Radiant picking up the Ursa, which seems somewhat questionable because I think Ursa's going to get kited around a lot from the Dire because the Radiant don't have a ton of stuns to lock down these heroes for Ursa to just kind of walk up and right click on. So I think Ursa's going to have a pretty rough time. And I do like this Disruptor pickup from the Dire. Disruptor is also one of those heroes that just fits into any lineup and kind of synergizes somewhat well with the Lich, in that the kinetic field can really synergize well with the Chain Frost. And yeah, I really expect to see some havoc being wrecked on the battlefield. But yeah, as we saw in our last match, you can have the best draft in the world, but you know, if you just get ahead real early, or if you feed in the early game, you just can't come back from that. And I would like to point out that I am drinking my my Bordeaux blend that I made a couple of weeks ago, and it is delicious.
Reserve time.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. It's only been aging for about 2 weeks, and it'll just only get better as time goes on. So yeah, we'll see what the final picks are here for our teams, and we'll move on from there. We do have a whopping 2 people viewing on Twitch, so the 2 of you who are watching, thank you so much for watching, and hope you're having a good time. And we do have the Slark pickup, which I'm not a huge fan of Slark, because he is another one of those pub stomp heroes that just goes crazy if you don't know how to play against him. Yeah, I don't think he fits in super well into the Radiant draft, and I'm not a big fan of the Radiant draft to begin with. There's virtually no stuns there. I guess Slark kind of provides a little bit with the pounce. And we did have a last pick, Treant Protector, for Cheeks of Flappin' on the Dire side. So we'll go ahead and introduce the players and the lanes here, once the lanes do form up. No courier purchased yet. Okay, we have Lich buying it. There we go. Okay, so we do have Yadneb playing one of his, I guess, signature heroes. That would be the Viper. And it looks like he's going to be headed towards the mid lane. And we have the 6 Paths, which is a really cool name, on the Disruptor. He's got a pretty cool set for Disruptor. And it looks like he will be laning in the off lane with Rainbow Dash on the Naga Siren. And we do have Nikolov on the Lich. And it looks like he'll be laning with Cheeks of Flappin' on the Treant Protector. This does seem like a bit of a strange laning setup here. 2 supports in the Dire safe lane, so I'm kind of calling that into question. Hopefully there's a bit of a rotation there. And it looks like there's a little bit of pinging and contention happening here, but I'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant. We do have Captain Trips on the Slark in the Radiant off lane. We do have Kyler on the Zeus in the mid lane. And the Errant Pixel will play the Dazzle
Got a feeling this is gonna be good.
in the safe lane, along with Crimson 957 on the Ursa in the safe lane. And I'm excited to see what he can do on this Ursa. Ursa is a real fun hero to play carry on. He's not terribly difficult to play, which is really fun. So I feel like you can get away with a lot on him. So I think I'd like to see Disruptor switch places with the Lich, wherever the Lich went. And we do have a little bit of harassment right off the bat here. The Leech Seed being used on the Slark, but it's not going to do too much. And we do have Viper and Zeus exchanging blows here, and Viper's down to about half HP. He needs to be careful. He needs to use either that Healing Salve or that Tango. And it looks like the Radiant's going for a bit of a tri-lane here. Interesting. We do have Dare on the Wind Ranger here. Not sure if I introduced Dare on the Wind Ranger, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I do like tri-lanes because if they get out of position whatsoever, they'll really be able to capitalize on that. And I do apologize if the video quality is a little bit low. I am streaming and recording video at the same time, and Viper really just taking a ton of damage here, and does wisely use the Healing Salve to get back up to full health. And this Radiant tri-lane is just really pushing out this lane. And the thing about tri-lanes is that you really need to be getting kills very early on if you are in a tri-lane, because what will happen is the XP is split between 3 people versus 2 on the other side. So what will happen is those heroes will start to out-level you XP-wise and will be able to just dominate the tri-lane. So you really need to just assert dominance really early on. But it does leave your off-lane in a good place, which would be the safe lane Treant Protector. Or no, I'm sorry, which would be the Slark getting the solo XP. So that'll be good for Slark. So I think they're really kind of tying their horse up to Slark, if you will, or putting their wagon to Slark, or I don't know what the saying is. Whatever it is. Is there a way that I can show my FPS? No, I don't know what that is. Yeah, it is a little low, so I have a decent computer. It's not the best in the world, but it's pretty good, so I can at least somewhat do the Dotes stream and record at the same time, so there's that. Looking at the creep scores, we do have Viper somewhat ahead of Zeus. So it is impressive that he's able to farm as well as he is, given that Zeus is very aggressive. And I am really starting to fear for this tri-lane. They need to start getting kills, probably in the next 3 minutes or so, because Disruptor and Naga Siren are playing this out pretty well, where they're just trying to get as much XP as they can. They are shutting this Naga down quite well, and assuming that's a carry Naga Siren, she's going to have a hard time. So it is a bit of a defensive tri-lane to shut her down. But yeah, Ursa really needs to start maybe even just farming up once he hits like level 3. Maybe go to the jungle to just really secure farm for him. But yeah, we do have Viper kind of low on HP yet again. So this Zeus does seem to be pretty aggressive. Does have the bottle. Viper wisely not going for the bottle because Viper doesn't really have any sort of abilities to help him get to those runes any quicker. Pretty quiet overall, about 4.5 minutes in, and not really too much action going on. We do have Slark sitting on the Magic Stick and the Ring of Basilius. Lich did rotate into the safe lane here. And we do have Cheeks a Flappin', yeah, just sitting on the Stout Shield for the most part. And Zeus does have that invisibility rune, and I would think that Yadneb would know that he's there, and quite a bit of damage going down against the Viper, using the Lightning Bolt and the Arc Lightning. Zeus is one of those heroes that I just still have not yet played, because I think I played against him so much when I first started playing Dota that I just got so sick of him that I just never I never picked him up. I don't know if that's bad or not. But yeah, Ursa is getting a decent amount of farm. He is ahead in creep score, so good for him. It is really keeping these guys away and really helping him to farm. But I do just worry about the XP. So I think he would want to kind of break out and start to farm up the jungle a little bit to really maximize his farm. And we do have Viper pinging this lane here, so I hope we start to see some ganking going on here. Disruptor laying down the kinetic field, not really going to do too much. Viper is showing himself a little early here, and I think we're going to be having them go in on the Ursa here. The Viper Strike and the Poison Strike doing quite a bit. The Glimpse being used to bring Ursa back, and we will have a first blood against Ursa. And will we see any more? Net being used against the Dazzle, and I think we're all out of damage. So that was a timely rotation for Viper, and really just shows the power of the Glimpse. Yeah, really just able to do work and get that first blood, and yeah, good for them. Though it does leave Zeus in the mid lane open to a little bit of free farm, and he is able to bottle up that regen rune. But we will see Viper rotating back to the mid lane, and yeah, that nice rotation was definitely worth it. So, we do see Ursa picking up the Morbid Mask, so I would think we would start to see him farm up the jungle any time now. And we do have our Dire heroes in the on the receiving end of that tri-lane, able to push the lane forward a little bit and secure some much-needed farm. Naga sitting on 3 creep hits, or creep kills, and Disruptor sitting on 6. So definitely some much-needed farm for them. And I still am a little bit perplexed by this Lich Treant Protector safe lane. I would like to know what the rationale for that is. Or maybe there isn't one. If there isn't, that's fine too. But I would expect to see this Naga Siren in the safe lane, or at least mid. Because with Naga Siren, you can, as I said earlier, you can get a Radiance up, hit those illusions, and yeah, really just start to go ham with farming up those jungle creeps. But in the off lane, you know, you really don't have easy access to that. You do have the Ancients, but that's not really worth it compared to just regular old jungle farm. So all does seem to be a little quiet yet again. I think we have Viper rotating up to the top lane here, maybe.
Dire's mid tower won't last much.
Yeah, about 8 minutes in and only 1 kill on the board. We do have the Radiant doing a little bit better on the net worth chart, which is, I guess, to be expected, given that there was a tri-lane that really helps this Ursa secure some farm. And, yeah, but I would expect in the XP chart, yeah, see, the Dire are slightly ahead, and that's because of that tri-lane that I spoke of earlier. But we do have Viper going in here, using the ultimate on the Slark, but Slark will get away no problem thanks to the Shadow Dance. And again, I hope these videos aren't super low quality because my FPS is dropping quite slowly. So hopefully the videos are okay to watch. Yeah, I do have a cooler, a new fan for my CPU on the way, so hopefully that'll kind of help me out a little bit with, I think, some of my CPU is being throttled due to temperature limitations. Which is fine. You hate to see that, but that's a thing, you know? I'd rather have my computer be operational. And we do have the Viper, Lich, and Treant Protector pushing this Tier 1 Radiant Tower, so I think this might be a free tower for the Dire. And we do have Viper teleporting to the mid lane to try and catch a little bit of farm, and I wonder if they're going to be able to get this tower down. So now that the Viper's out of here, the Slark might be able to just go in here, no problem. Treant Protector and Lich taking a fair amount of tower damage. And, oh no, poor Zeus here, he's kind of getting wrapped around here. Might be able to get a kill on the Viper. No, he's getting quite low. Glimpse going down on the Zeus, and Disruptor is able to secure the kill. Assist gold being split between Disruptor and Viper, so Nice little cheeky play there from the Disruptor, wrapping around and, yeah, just waiting for the Zeus to get out of position and really able to capitalize on that. So, and that's one of those things that if you, you know, if you're playing and you can't see the other 5 heroes on your mini-map, you do not want to be pushing high ground like that if you're playing mid, because it really opens you up to a dangerous position. And especially because the Dire had vision of what was going on the whole time. They were able to see exactly what was going on. And Kyler is upset about the bad manners ban on the Shadow Fiend, which isn't necessarily bad manners per se, but it definitely was a respect ban because Kyler has a mean Shadow Fiend. So we do have Viper pinging out the Ursa kill yet again, and I gotta feel bad for Ursa because I think he's gonna die yet again. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Viper does have the invisibility rune here, and here we go, folks. No, never mind. Are they gonna go in? Naga Siren being used to get everyone in just the right position. Look at this. What a cheeky play. The static field and the kinetic field going down to trap them in it, and they release the song, get in great position. Viper might go down thanks to the right click and the power shot from Windranger, but yeah, Viper does get the double kill on the Dazzle and the Ursa. So that Naga Siren really synergizing quite well with the Dazzle. Able to use that kinetic field and that static storm to just really kind of wombo combo them. And Ursa even is just, he knows what's going on. He knows that was a good play, and that is well deserved. So good on them. Good on them. When you're clumped up like that, it's easy to trap people in those disruptor spells. So yeah, we do have the 6-path sitting on Arcane Boots, defensively using the kinetic field against the Zeus. Zeus sitting on the Arcane Boots and the bottle.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
And yeah, Dire is... Actually, I'm really surprised. Zeus is still ahead in net worth, but Viper using some harassment to get him out of here. Let's take a look at the gold graphs. Dire's ahead by about 1,500 gold, and also ahead by about 1,700 hit points. So given the number of kills that the Dire have, I am actually really surprised they're not further ahead. And I think that's probably due to... yeah, they've just been doing a lot of, like, kind of 3-on-1 type situations. So those are good to get, and you definitely want to use those kind of more in a defensive way. You use those more to shut down people in other lanes rather than to, you know, get a ton of farm on your carry or something like that. But yeah, those ganks and the rotations from Viper have been pretty critical, and we do have Disruptor rotating to the mid lane. I wonder if he's going to be able to get much done. And we still have this strange Lich Treant Protector safe lane. Not quite sure what's going on there, but I think, are they trying to run the Lich as a core? Or Treant Protector is #1 in net worth, and I'm not exactly sure why. It seems strange, but, you know, it's working for him so far, so there you go. So Ursa is a little far forward here. That was a bit of a risky move, cutting through those trees like that. And we do have Radiant, the Radiant forces clumping up in the bottom lane here, trying to make something happen. And we do have Viper rotating back to the mid lane. He does seem to be moving around quite a bit. So I would
Radiant's mid
I would
tower's
expect
getting
they'd want
banged
Viper
up.
to just kind of farm up a little bit, but Viper is definitely one of those heroes that you just need to snowball off of. And the Dire are going for this tier 1 tower, and they do get it.
Mid tower's coming
So that's a
apart.
decent amount of gold for the Dire. And we do have this Ursa still farming in the offlane. He does have the phase boots. But yeah, really hasn't been able to make too much happen yet. So I think he's just trying to farm up and maybe get some kills. And he's in a bit of a pickle here. He is netted underneath the tower here and really needs to be careful here. But Windranger says, get the heck out of here with her power shot.
That's 4 in a row.
And I did miss a kill that Viper got on the Zeus while he was up on trying to, I don't know if he was trying to go for the Ancients or
Radiant's
just
top tower's in bad shape.
wandering around, but I did see it on the minimap, just wasn't able to get there quite fast enough. And Naga's farm has been quite a bit delayed. She's only sitting on the Ring of Aquila and is going for the power treads. And we do have Disruptor picking up the Urn of Shadows, which I think is probably a pretty good pickup for Disruptor because he has been rotating around quite a bit, trying to get kills, and I think that's what's been working out so well for the Dire right now is just these rotations out of the Disruptor and out of the Viper, really just been able to get a lot of work done. And Viper does have the DD rune, and this really just makes him kind of untouchable for right now. So I wonder if this Slark's going to be able to resist the urge to jump in here. I would think that he'll probably... Oh, he's going to go in. I don't know if this is smart. Viper does have the DD rune here. He does use the Shadow Dance to kind of make him unkillable for a little bit there, and Viper just has to back up. Yeah, a lot of burst damage coming out from the Slark there, and a little bit of a cheeky play, so good on Slark for being able to get that one kill down. Kinetic Field going to go down, going to block in the Dazzle, and let's see if they'll be able to take him down. Shallow Grave going down on the Dazzle, but will kind of only prevent the inevitable. And we do have Zeus breaking in from the left here, and Kinetic Field going to keep him trapped there. And that is another kill going the way of the Dire. 2-for-1 exchange. And Living Armor and the Urn of Shadows being used on the Viper to bring him back up to full health. Disruptor getting quite low on health, while we do have Naga Siren going in on the Windranger. And Glimpse being used back into the Kinetic Field, going to keep the Windranger stuck no problem. And I tell you what, the play out of this Disruptor, man. Six Pavs just going crazy on the Disruptor. Lots of great plays. And that's why I like Disruptor. He just fits into almost any draft. The Glimpse works so well, and the Kinetic Field just gives you so much control, along with the Thunderclap to give you a decent amount of harassment damage. And this Kinetic Field is going to, and Static Storm is going to catch out 3 people. And the Overgrowth being used to keep the Ursa in place, and the Chain Frost going down, another Kinetic Field being going down to keep the Dazzle in place, and the Shallow Grave being used on the Zeus to just kind of prevent the inevitable. He is going to die, and the Dazzle also goes down, and that is another 3-for-0 exchange in favor of the Dire.
Lost one of them bottom towers.
And yeah, this Dire team has just been able to just really capitalize off of the rotations.
Technical difficulty.
And yeah, just have really excellent team fight. I feel like the Radiant just even positionally, they just haven't necessarily had the great positioning, and I really feel like the Dire has just been able to catch them out 5v3, 5v4, 5v2 quite often. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of the game plays out, and I think this might be a free tier 2 as well, unless they come in to defend this, and
Trouble brewing.
Disruptor is out for blood, and I think he should just stay back here and try and take this tower down. And that is another tier 2 tower, excuse me, the only tier 2 tower in way of the Dire. So good on them. Going for that. I do hear a Ursa Fury Swipes going out. But yeah, just look at this net worth. All Dire, all Radiant. And I have it sorted correctly. And I still don't understand what's going on with this Treant Protector. How is this Treant Protector #1 on farm on the Dire? I don't understand it. I don't understand what's going on. Are they going for a core Treant Protector? It seems crazy, but it also seems like it's working out for them. And Where are the kills? There we go. I mean, he's 1-0-3, but he's been doing quite a bit of work with the living armor and the leech seed. But I mean, I guess the lane setup has been working for them, but it still just seems really strange to me. And I kind of feel like the Dire right now, they can just kind of Hulk Hogan it up and just kind of say, who's next? And oh my gosh, this is going to be so disgusting. We do have the Radiant trying to go for the Roshan kill, which is just not smart. Viper just blowing up Dazzle. Zeus trying to use the ultimate to try and do as much damage as he can, but this is just a massacre now. Ursa's on the run. Is a glimpse available? A glimpse will be available in about 5 seconds, but Ursa's taking quite a bit of tower damage. Might just die to that. And I think he's going to make it out okay, no problem.
How about that?
And yeah, this just goes to show that you really... Okay, Glimpse used, and Disruptor will be able to take down Ursa here. Static Storm being used, and he'll clean him up, no problem. He does have that Blink Dagger now. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. So yeah, the Dire will be able to clean up Roshan, no problem. Yeah, so that's a pretty rough situation for the Radiant. Just goes to show the power of wards. Nobody on the Radiant side is buying wards. I feel like if they had wards up, they would have known that the Radiant were, you know, right here. And the Dire do have wards up, so they knew what was going on the whole time. So they lost about 3 heroes and gave up a Roshan kill and an Aegis. So that's pretty dire straits for the Radiant, and I'm not really sure what else the Radiant can do here. So the game is definitely in the hands of the Dire, and it is the Dire's game to lose. And I can only imagine that Kyler is still upset that he does not have his Shadow Fiend. Poor Kyler, poor Kyler. And I still really love the Immortal item for Wind Ranger. It just looks so nice, you guys. It's so nice. And we do have Cheeks a-Flappin' on the Treant Protector using the Nature's Guise to try and set up some sort of play if the Radiant do decide to come close, but I don't think they have too much to worry about. And oh my gosh, a cheeky little smoke gank here. I wonder whose idea this was. And I like to see this. This is probably, I don't know whose idea this was. And we do have a Dazzle going down with the Glimpse. The Kinetic Field going to keep him in place, no problem. Trying to use the Weave and the Shallow Grave to keep him alive. But the Weave does do... He did catch 3 with the Weave, so that will... In about another 20 seconds or so, these guys will all be at about minus 30 armor, so... And the score is at 23 minutes and 1-16. So that is quite one-sided at this point. And we do have the Kinetic Field going down, and the Chain Frost being used, and it's just bouncing around. It didn't really catch anybody out, but it's still going to do a ton of work regardless. And we are going to see a Zeus kill, and Dazzle just staying in the base saying, hey man, I don't want any part of this. And we do have the GG called, and I definitely do not blame the Radiant at all. So we do have another Dire win, and yeah, I think the support rotations and the Viper rotation in the early game for the Dire is really what won them this fight. And it was a bit of a strange draft out of the Radiant. No disables really of any sort. No wards being bought. But yeah, also, I don't want to minimize the impact that this Disruptor had. This Disruptor just went absolutely crazy. Just making stuff happen clear across the board. Just really setting up Viper to just get a ton of kills. And yeah, so another good match, guys. And we'll see y'all next time.